Hello everybody, it's George from You Are So Much More. Today we are going to be discussing the need for role models. Where did they go? They're currently not here and we need to bring them back. So let's have a look at the past, see what we can bring into today. So then we can be happier, so we can be stronger, so then men and women can keep growing, and so then we can be awesome together. And of course, if you are new here, please hit like on the video. You may think it does nothing. You are wrong. Hitting like means so much. It really helps our humble small channel such as myself. And of course, consider subscribing if you want a little bit of positivity in your day-to-day. You know, the internet fills us with all this negative stuff and all this fighting, and that is not really real. It's drama for clicks. You're being baited, you're being triggered for no reason. Now, back to the need for role models. When I'm talking role models, I'm talking about people we look up to. Fictional or real, people we aspire to be, people we are inspired to be. They provide guidance, they provide a sense of direction. It is needed. Never be complacent with who you are at the moment. No, you can always become more, and by more I mean better. Keep learning. Life is a journey. So a good example of like what a good male role model would be for me growing up was someone big, strong, lots of muscles, but most importantly, they did what was right and they were brave. When you watch Spider-Man was just a kid in high school, but he had responsibility shoved onto his shoulders. And while he was tempted to walk away from it many times, he still stood his ground. That was inspiring. That was letting us know, hey, sometimes in the world, you want to do one thing, but the right thing is harder. I just threw my mic, but who cares? And we got inspired by that. Batman was another source of inspiration for boys and girls, by the way. Obviously, it's easier for boys to relate to male superheroes and all that. But the thing with role models, the thing with being an awesome adult, is you learn the sex doesn't matter. If you see an inspiring, beautiful, strong woman doing things you want to do and be, it really doesn't matter if you're also a woman, or if you're a man, or if you're a boy, or if you're a girl. Going back to Batman, right? Batman, yeah, he had his parents killed. We all know the sob story. Wayne Enterprises, millionaire or billionaire, like lots of money. Batman never had to be Batman. He could have cried, he could have done the victim card, he could have stayed up in his mansion and cried while Alfred, his butler, looked after him. But we know Batman didn't do that. Batman looked at his city and he had to be the hero that the city of Gotham needed, right? Not what they want, what they needed. Countless stories like that. My childhood is filled with all these men with big, huge muscles and six packs and this and that. And you know, women and children first. It was all about how to control our so-called masculinity, right? How to use it in a positive light. We didn't use the word toxic masculinity back then, right? We taught boys, hey, one day you're going to grow up and you're going to be significantly stronger than the girls and the women around you. Now, here's what you do with that. You look after yourself, you look after your family, you look after your community, and you look after the women and children whenever you get the chance, right? You have a physical advantage there, and if there's anything you can do, look after them, right? People respond well to roles. People respond well with purpose, right? No one wants to feel alone and useless and a husk. So I grew up in a time saying, hey, try to be strong. Try to control your emotions in a good way. Try to control your emotions and look after those around you. That way, whenever things did happen in my life, and yeah, tough times certainly came. When they did, I was ready for it, right? Because my cartoons, my movies, my TV shows, everything was celebrating the fact that I was going to grow up to be a man one day. Now let's switch it over to the other side, to the ladies. They had the same thing once upon a time. We all know that women are the more attractive sex, right? They're beautiful people. There's a reason why people will be more than happy to see a beautiful woman in a swimsuit. But you know what? Most people don't want to see a guy in a Speedo. Even though the Speedo reveals more skin and maybe the guy, you know, is like ripped from head to toe. Still, more people would rather see the woman in the swimsuit, which covers her up a lot more, compared to a man in a Speedo. Female role models celebrate femininity. They don't hide away from their emotions. They're strong, they're sexy. And what was very attractive about female role models, especially in video games, is the fact that it would show that sexy and intelligent can exist together at the exact same time. See, once upon a time, if you were sexy, you were just a dumb bimbo. You weren't smart. You were either smart and ugly or hot and dumb. They were your choices. The video games industry and cartoons and movies, they were the ones who showed us, no, you can be Lara Croft from the Tomb Raider series. You can be strong and sexy and celebrate all the things that makes a woman, but you can also, and often are, incredibly smart, brave, capable. She was a highly intelligent archaeologist, right? There's lots of good role models everywhere. Now, the argument can be made that both of these role models were horrible. I grew up looking at big Arnold Schwarzenegger men, right? Basically bodybuilders. I grew up with He-Man. Every single toy I had, whether it be Spider-Man, Batman, whatever, had six packs, and their abs had abs, and their muscles had muscles and muscles, you know? And it could easily be said, say, hey, you were indoctrinated with a body type that is not even possible. Because to have a body like that, you need steroids. You need an insanely disciplined diet. You need your protein shakes, you need your this, your that, and you need to inject yourself with steroids, an illegal drug, which is not good for you, right? That's how unrealistic it was. And yeah, you could make the argument that that was a really bad thing to grow up with and use the woe is me victim card. Absolutely, that can be said. Same thing can be said for the women. Maybe Lara Croft wasn't a good role model. Maybe she wasn't a sexy, competent, strong, badass woman that we all saw her for. No, she was just a sexual object. She was for the man gaze. Is that what you call it? Man gaze? Man eye candy? I don't know. When look at women, I don't know what the word is, right? You can look at things negatively. You know, all the sexy women, they didn't need to be sexy. They should have been covered up from head to toe because they can be just as strong as men without the need for a sexual pill and this and that. Arguments can be made, but there's a serious lack of understanding here. See, role models aren't perfect, and role models aren't even meant to represent us. I'm a European Greek man in Australia. I don't know a single superhero who looks like me. None of them look like me. Like, yeah, sure, there'll be dudes, they'll be white, big whoop, big whoop, there's black dudes as well, and all these different shades in between, and women, this and that. None of that matters. These role models don't need to look like us, they just need to have traits that inspire us to be great. I grew up looking up to Dr. Phil. Dr. Phil, a psychologist, just because he was the first one to teach me that, hey, use your head. You cannot change what you don't acknowledge. Deeper dive in issues, this and that. Loved it, right? There was nothing about Dr. Phil that he didn't look like me at all. And you might say, well, look, he was a white man. Okay, well, how about this? My next role model when I was growing up was Oprah Winfrey. Black woman. Didn't care, right? Role models are about the qualities that they have. Dr. Phil thought things out, and I really respected him for that. It encouraged me to think and be calmer about things. Oprah tackled the hard issues. You know, she had lots of funny episodes. She had lots of, you know, everyone wins a car. Like, we had those. But also deep personal issues, debate, social politics, everything. She addressed all of it on her channel, right? And also, frankly, she was respected extra because of the early days of her career for being a woman and being black, and no one giving a shite. No one cared. Wonderful role models, right? So don't give me there isn't enough role models who look like me. They don't need to look like you. You like Wolverine? You like Wolverine from X-Men because it's like he's a badass and he has claws and this and that, and you're a woman and you're black as well. Let's just do the opposite polar. You should still look up to Wolverine. Why? He has that aggression, he has that strength and so forth. They're traits you can have. You should still look up to him. Look up to all the men, all the women. Enough of the victim games, right? The thing is though, is that where are the role models today? Where are they? They're gone. You hear the word masculinity, that is attacked. That is attacked. You hear the word toxic before masculinity, right? What are boys meant to do? What are men meant to do? We're teaching young boys that they are a problem. That their masculine traits, their more aggressive side is all bad. All of it bad? Absolutely not. Look, as I said, when I grew up, all of my heroes told me, you're going to become big and strong, you're going to have all this energy, and this is what you're going to do with it. It gave me purpose, it gave me direction. The young boys growing up today, they don't have that. All they're told is you are the problem. They're told that any masculine trait is an issue and that they should suppress it. That's not going to end well. Telling people to suppress quality traits. Masculinity is only bad when used badly. Masculinity itself is confidence, is taking charge, is protection, right? It's men leaning into what we do best. The same thing can be said for women. Women at the moment are basically being told to suppress themselves, little girls. Little girls that want to be feminine, they want to wear dresses, they want to celebrate their curvy bodies as they get older, this and that. That's not good. Everything that is feminine and feels good is a slap in the face and sends feminists back 50 years. I just saw the Barbie movie and God help me, just don't. Just don't. Just don't don't take your kids to watch that movie. Seriously, it is not the feel good movie that it's been presented to be. But moving past that, when you don't give boys positive reassurance for their traits that come naturally and direction, when you do the same thing to girls and punish them if they want to be girls, if they want to be girly, if they like the idea of, God forbid, maybe being a mother, right? Everything's about a war against men and patriarchy. Role models push away all of that. Role models is who we should look up to. My male role models, they just told me, hey, toughen up. And that's okay. Be strong. And that's okay. And here's how you can do it. And the female role models, they got the same treatment. They're saying, hey, as you get older, you're going to start getting curves. You may even raise an eyebrow. But that doesn't define you. You can be sexy and smart. One doesn't have to exist without the other. You can be everything you want, which is the fantastic message that both boys and girls should get. The problem though, with all the social politics going around, is there's basically no positive male role models to look up to at the moment, and females don't even have good positive role models to look up to themselves. Females at the moment have angry, bitter feminists who literally hate men. That's not a role model. That's a bitter person having a midlife crisis and they're pushing down their hate and resentment to a younger generation. And if you think that doesn't sound bad, let's flip it around. Let's say we have angry, bitter men talking down that all women suck and they just want to use you. And that does exist, and that's a problem, isn't it? Works both ways. We need to push aside all this silliness and embrace each other. Embrace the fact that this society works better with men and women helping each other. We should celebrate women femininity. We should celebrate male masculinity as well. And we need to give good role models, because you know what happens? See, boys and girls at the moment, and lost men and women. This isn't just a child thing, right? There's a lot of confused adults out there. We all want role models whether we admit it or not. And if we are not easily presented with a positive role model to look up to, we're going to go out and find it ourselves. And guess who's going to decide what our best role model will be? The algorithm. That's right. Let YouTube decide for you what is a good thing. That screws over men and women. And God help me if you go to TikTok or Twitter. You don't want that. You don't want men having to look up positive role models online, because the role models that are presented to them might be a little bit extreme, might be just a little bit too much, but they're going to go there because men have every right to feel good about who they are. And if you keep telling them they're a problem and you keep attacking them, well, then they're not going to want anything to do with you, aren't they? And the exact same thing happens with women and girls as well. You keep telling them that being feminine is a problem, that wanting to be a mother is a problem, that every single time they embrace anything girly is a slap in the face of feminism and this and that and all this responsibility on their shoulders they never asked for, and the word patriarchy brought up, I think literally 20 to 30 times in the Barbie movie, I kid you not, that's going to push women too much in the opposite direction. It's either going to make them very hateful and bitter towards their fathers, towards their brothers, towards their uncles, towards their male friends, towards their lovers, and towards their husbands. It's either going to have a horrible negative effect like that, or to correct that, they're going to become too feminine. They're going to want to have nothing to do with that. They're going to want to stay home and never work and just be a mother and serve for. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but I'm just saying with every single push on both sides, there is an equal reaction. Role models, we need good people to look up to. We need to aspire to be more, and you can see that I've made a deliberate effort to represent both sides just as much. I want my strong women. I do. I love my mum. I've been a feminist from before all of this was even popular. I'm a traditional feminist, not a modern feminist, right? I want girls to be strong. I want boys to be strong. And at the moment, with the lack of real role models, all the role models that are out there, or the female comedians, the majority, there's obviously exceptions, but the majority of female influence only empowers women at the cost of men. They're not saying, hey, you can be strong and here's how to do it. Instead, they're saying, you're being held back. You're being oppressed. Patriarchy. Boom, boom, boom. Ladies, gentlemen, find yourself role models. Find yourself good people and pay attention to the whole message. Don't let the world decide for you. Men and women are in a great place. My previous video before this one literally was talking about the fact that the thing that the internet does is trick us that the world is so much worse than what it is. You've heard the expression, the world is on fire, and I'm here to tell you it's not. We just need some better role models. And we need to know that every role model is for us. Look at successful men. Look at successful women. Black, white, everything in between, from every single country. Pick and choose the best personality traits and implement them to yourself. Don't be silly with the lie that you need to be represented. I'm a European Greek man in Australia. I guarantee you, I don't know a single hero who represents me. And I don't care. I don't need that. I don't need that at all. I looked up to Oprah Winfrey growing up. I looked up to Dr. Phil. You think any of those people look like me? I looked up to Eddie Murphy. I looked up to to Wesley Snipes. I looked up to all these different black actors. I thought they were really cool, right? Grab the best from the world. Don't let people manipulate you. Don't let people bring you down. And let's bring back role models. I want a tough old school man on the TV, on the big screen. I want him reminding young men and current men of today of the responsibility that we have. That we're here to protect women. We're here to protect each other. We're here to help each other. And yes, we can grow as people. We're also here to be in touch with our emotions. There's a difference between being aware of our emotions and letting our emotions take control of us, right? Sometimes the pendulum swung too much. Yes, back in the 80s, men were told to be too tough. Alright, but we don't need to remove the word tough altogether. And back in the day, on TV, by the media, by the way, the exact same people who are lecturing us today, the media over-sexualized women to an extent. Absolutely. But now we're going to auto-correct with that and we're not going to be too sexualized, we're not going to be sexualized at all. We're not even going to appear as women. We're going to be covered from head to toe and be given masculine jawlines. Like, there is always a middle ground for things. And I just wanted to remind you of that. I just wanted to remind you, go find some good role models. And if you're ever listening to a role model and you know what, they seem a little bit extreme, they go a little bit too far, find another one. Use people as tools. get the best that is out there. God bless you all. I'll see you all for the next one. Bye bye.